After we have a vision for the product and we know what problems we're trying to solve, what are we generating?
Yeah. To put it simply, Darren, we're generating solutions. And, a lot of times, you might think of this as brainstorming, but there is a method to it. And I think it can be a key to success early on in your product by doing this rigorously, doing it well. I think, one of the things we really try to emphasize is approaching this as a team sport, that you do have a sense of kind of where the opportunities are now, that we've spent some time talking about risks, we've talked to people, and we have a sense of how we might create value for them. The key is to get your team to now start to tackle generating solutions together from their different perspectives. So to have not just your designers, but have your product owner and your engineers and your architect and your QA people coming together to generate solutions.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that for any given problem that you might want to solve for a user, there's multiple ways to solve it. So here's where we're getting creative and diverging, if you will, to find lots of different possible ways that we might create a solution to a given problem.
Yeah, I think it helps to go into that process with kind of a healthy respect for your own biases. Like everybody has them. We have technical biases or creative ones that certain beliefs. And what you want to do is not just a one and done, like how might we solve this and just have that one single solution. You want to push the boundaries and try to sort of crack through that layer of bias and kind of predictable patterns and start to that's really where, the more creative solutions are out there, but you have to kind of do a little bit of the work to dig them up.
So what is the goal when we're generating solutions?
So generally when we're at this stage, you've pulled the team together, you do have a good sense of what the opportunities are. Now, how do we start to solve them? So we're doing that as a team. This is our opportunity to really get creative. And there are going to be some obvious kind of low-hanging fruit solutions, but you want to kind of push through that a bit and start to use some process here to get the team to sort of bring great ideas forward. That's one thing that we really emphasize here at TrueFit, is that good ideas can come from anywhere. That they're not, they can come from those who are close to the user. They can come from those who are close to the technology, and they're the ones who know what's possible. And so, how does the team contribute from their own expertise, great ideas? What we try to do is bring a little bit of structure. So what we recommend here is that the teams start with, sometimes they're called statement starters, but if this is an opportunity, you could loosely call them how might we's, just to spend a little bit of time before you sit down and craft a how might we statement. And the key to a how might we is that you're not defining the solution in how you write it. So when we talk about these processes today, just to give a little bit of an example that we could use, for example, we work on a lot of systems that might tie together multiple pieces. Like, let's say like a therapy kind of solution or a platform where you have a doctor and you have a therapist, you have maybe an admin, and then you have a patient, and a system that ties that all together. So early on, we might have how might we's that are, how might we reduce the effort that a therapist goes through to sign up and create patient accounts? Or how might we make it easy for the admin to document what the patient is doing for insurance submissions? So you're trying to write the how might we in a way that isn't defining the solution, and then let the team chew on. Generally, we try to identify 2 or 3 solutions not just the first one that seems the most obvious. And that's really helpful. It's hard, Darren. It definitely, you run into walls. Software, there's so many different dynamics. Maybe it's the data, maybe it's the technology, maybe it's the constraints of like regulations or certain business rules that you have to work around. So sometimes we find it helpful to think about analogous experiences. That's another good trick that we use sometimes of how might this work more like going to a fine restaurant? Or how might this work like purchasing movie tickets or purchasing an airline ticket? When that's a good experience, how might we apply those things to this space? And it just kind of helps shake up the thinking in the team and can generate some pretty creative and often valuable solutions.